A lot can happen in a week, some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Raúl Ramos, Associate Professor of History at the University of Houston, Natalie Arceneaux, President of Arceneaux International Consulting, and Lisa Falkenberg, Senior Columnist with the Houston Chronicle. Raúl, Natalie, Lisa, welcome to Houston Matters.
Thanks.
Howdy.
Good morning, Craig.
Panel, former Texas Lottery Director Gary Grief and the abolished Texas Lottery Commission are being charged by the Travis County DA's office with felony abuse of official capacity for misusing their positions in connection with the 2023 Lotto Texas caper that helped international gamblers to a guaranteed win in tens of millions of dollars. As the Houston Chronicle's Eric Dexheimer and Tony Plahetsky reported Thursday, the April 22, 2023 Lotto Texas draw was the subject of the paper's two-year investigation, which revealed how Grief and the agency tasked with overseeing the lottery helped the overseas bettors to purchase nearly every possible six-number combination, some 25 million tickets, to assure their victory by providing extra state lottery terminals and paper, no questions asked. Grief's attorneys say the grand jury indictment is the product of politics, that there was no crime, and that his client generated millions for Texas schools and veterans. As for the commission itself, since lawmakers abolished it last year after the scandal was uncovered, its summons was issued to the head of the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. Texas Lotto's leadership is charged with a felony for helping bettors buy millions of tickets to guarantee a jackpot win. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Raúl Ramos, start us off.
Well, it's ugly, of course. Are we surprised that the group in charge of legalized gambling is maybe cheating a little bit? It feels a little quaint right now, the way gambling is just everywhere in our lives, the way Kalshi betting is everywhere, the way Polymarket, people are betting on every little thing, whether the light's going to turn green in the next 3 minutes or not.
Whether I'd stumble over that long explanation about this story.
I by the way, I lost that bet. I think that and so we're seeing right now insider trading going on those kinds of things. So the idea that there's fairness in gambling is, I think, raising some questions around the fact that we're supporting our social services with this kind of activity. I think is pointing out that that's really the problem as well.
All right, good, bad, or ugly, Natalie Arceneaux.
So slightly different take. It's good, it's bad on kind of different wavelengths. So, look, I've always said it before, and I do play the lotto. You can't win if you don't play.
That's right. You got to be in it to win it.
You got to be in it to win it. But I've said before, I'm like, if I had enough money just chilling under the couch, I would go and buy every permutation because that's a great investment. You spend, $25 million to win $1 billion. Okay, great, right? Wonderful. My whole thing with that makes it bad is I'm still not sure how they accomplished it. If the Texas Lotto just gave them extra things to fill out the numbers with, that's one thing. If they provided them manpower to fill it out, if they, took terminals that weren't available to anyone else and made them accessible to them, that's different. To me, you still have to go through the process that a regular person goes through. No special attention should be given, but I don't think you should deny somebody the tickets to write your numbers on just because I call you and ask you for 100,000 of them because they're not available. If I have 100,000 and I want to play 100,000, then I play 100,000. So that's my thing. What I would also be interested in, to Raúl's point about how we are funding some of our services, I would like to know, where is all the lotto money going? Because it doesn't feel like the schools are benefiting from all the money that is spent. So that to me is a bigger question and probably a different show.
All right, good, bad, or ugly, Lisa Falkenberg.
I used to know the answer to that because I used to cover the lottery kind of closely, and some does go to education. But when they passed it, as I understand it, because I was a child, but I think when they passed it, it was a promise that the thought was all of it was going to go, and so it does go to other places. No, it's good. I think that they're charging him. when I was in Austin as a young reporter with the Chronicles before I moved to Houston, I wrote a lot about Gary Grief and a lot about gave him a lot of grief, and wrote about the lottery because there were a lot of things he was doing. He was just terrible to the employees, but he also just had a lot of things that weren't transparent. And I knew something was going on there, and I never got to it. So I'm glad somebody has found something, because that man was just. He had a wall set up where there was a lot of information that I couldn't get. Anyway, but my colleague, has done such a good job at reporting of this. I think that it is important to hold somebody accountable. Now, Gary Grief's attorney is saying, it's just political and they needed a scapegoat. Well, who else was in charge?
Right.
He was in charge of the lottery. I mean, where does the buck stop? And he's long been in charge of the lottery. And I don't pretend to understand all this really down to, granular level, Natalie, but there were rules that were violated. There were safeguards that were supposed to be in place so that this kind of thing couldn't happen. And, it is unfair. It is unfair if you can just call up the Lottery Commission and say, we're going to set up this fake store. We need a bunch of terminals real quick. Bring it on over. No regular person could do that. And then we're going to win this thing, and nobody else, I guess statistically, nobody else had a chance, but technically they did have a chance. But anyway, and so just take all the money away. So everybody entering, was under the idea that, people more or less had an equal opportunity when they didn't. And this Australian guy who's supposedly leading all of this, this is what he does. He just goes around, and I just think there has to be some kind of fairness, like promise of fairness and actual, policies in place that give people more or less a fair shake. I don't play because I know the math, and I'm not that optimistic, I guess. But for people who do play, they should believe that the game is fair. And it's hard to believe that now, but hopefully this guy will be held accountable.
I don't know if anything gambling is fair, though. It's gambling.
Yeah, the house wins.
The house wins all
wins.
the time.
Panel, it's official. The WNBA will indeed return to the Houston area next season. On Wednesday, the WNBA and NBA Board of Governors unanimously approved the sale and relocation of the Connecticut Sun to Houston Rockets owner Tilman Fertitta. The Sun will play the rest of this season in Connecticut with a couple of games in Hartford, also a game in Boston, before moving here to play at Toyota Center starting next year. Houston has not had a WNBA team since the Comets folded in 2008. The Comets were WNBA champs each of their first 4 seasons, starting in 1997. All right, it's official. The WNBA's back here in Houston. Good, bad, or ugly, Natalie?
I think it's great. It's another sports avenue. It gives visibility to women's athletics. And, again, when I played basketball, we won't talk about when in the 90s, I was like, why would I pursue this? There's no place to really go after you finish high school or college. So let me just redirect my attention to school again. So I think it gives girls who have athletic abilities the chance to also, again, know that they could play in the city that they're from, right? And you don't have to leave your city to go play somewhere else. I think it's great.
All right, good, bad, or ugly, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable on this. That's why we are non-experts. I think it's really good. Tilman Fertitta has talked about it for a long time, and just, finally making it happen. Like Natalie said, all the young girls who aspire for something greater can now see on a regular basis, where that can take you. They just need some star player who has a lot of onomatopoeia in her name, like Cheryl Swoops. Because even somebody like me who doesn't follow this is like, that is an amazing name.
Good, bad, or ugly, Raúl?
It's great. It was a bit of a shock when the team shut down. They had so many titles. They were doing so great. They were so popular. So it's great to have them back. I agree. The thing that I'm particularly happy about is that they don't have to come up with a new name. The name's already there. You don't have to deal with trying to figure something out like when the earthquakes came for the Major League Soccer, and they couldn't keep the name, so they decided, first they decided Houston 1836, and now they're the Dynamo, so that's good. So it leaves me with one question, though. Which statistics are going to continue? Is this going to be a continuation of the Comet statistics, or is it going to be the Connecticut statistics.
Let's leave that to the sports pedants to figure
All
out.
right.
Okay?
Well, it's professional sports.
Yeah, pick up where they left off.
We
It
gotta
was a
bet
good
on-
place.
We get a bet on that now too, by the way.
Yeah.
Panel, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department says more than 1 million Houston toad eggs have been released at Bastrop State Park. Why they're not here? Well, as Houston Public Media's Kyle McClanagan reported this week, the Houston toad's natural habitat has shrunk to the point that it no longer includes the species namesake. The Houston toad, in fact, has not been seen here since the early 1970s and has been on the endangered species list ever since. After a wildfire in Bastrop County in 2011 really did a number on the already dwindling population there, reintroduction efforts began with the most recent one this spring. Matt Lammers, the Houston Toad Recovery Coordinator for the Houston Zoo, says the Houston toad is endangered in large part due to poor habitat management. The hope is that Bastrop State Park can be that better managed habitat. An effort's afoot to bring back the Houston toad. It's just not coming back to Houston. Is this good, bad, or ugly, Lisa?
Good and bad that it's not coming back, but is this kind of like the Tennessee Oilers? Like it shouldn't be called the Houston Toad anymore if we don't have it. It's like it doesn't work if we don't have it anymore.
That's a good sports name, the Houston Toads.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not sure which sport, but
Maybe for hurdle competitions.
or competitive leapfrog.
There you go.
Anyway, and then does this guy have it on his resume, the Houston Toad Coordinator?
Yes.
Like that's a cool
It's a great title.
job, you know?
Somebody's got to do it, and thank goodness he's here to do it.
And then I had a question about the bad management. Who was badly managing things? Is that
I think that's overall all of us, humanity.
yeah,
and our
yeah,
habitat.
humanity, okay.
The climate changed, and it was not good for the Houston toad.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope there are better things. We've got such cool animals in Texas, and I think the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life in terms of wildlife was like being in Lost Maples once and looking down and seeing a leaf that was moving and wondering why it was moving, and it wasn't a leaf, it was a toad or frog that had evolved into the shape of a maple leaf.
Cool.
And I thought,
Wow.
wow. So all these little guys, they have, we need to help them live.
Yeah.
Great story, but we're short on time, so good, bad, or ugly, Raúl.
It's good we're keeping species alive, and this should be a warning for all of us. I would call him a canary in a bird cage. I mean, a coal mine. Sorry, but it would be a toad in a swamp.
Toad in a swamp. Okay.
Oh boy.
Fair enough. Good, bad, or ugly, Natalie.
I think it's good. And since my colleagues here have talked about the toad stuff, I will just say, kids, this means you should just shoot for the sky for job titles. Like, aim high, guys. Just do what you
go.
want. There's something out there for you.
Isn't it the Houston Toad Coordinator? I mean, shouldn't Houston be in there twice?
Oh, well, he is the Houston Toad Recovery Coordinator for the Houston Zoo.
Okay.
So I think it kind of already is in there twice.
Now there's going to be a Bastrop.
We need a
Houston
show
Toad
that goes around
Recovery
finding
Coordinator.
job titles
There
and
you go.
finding out what was your trajectory to get there.
That is a great idea. I'm going to bring it up with the
You
rest of the
should.
Houston Matters team. Keep listening to this same bat channel for for that toad channel, if you will. Raúl Ramos is an associate professor of history at the University of Houston. Natalie Arceneaux is president of Arceneaux International Consulting. Lisa Falkenberg, senior columnist with the Houston Chronicle. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.